So thanks for having me today. I'm Jeff Hudson. I'm the CEO of Venafi. We provide enterprise key and certificate management for the Global 2000. So the question is, what's a certificate? And a certificate is something you get from somebody like VeriSign or Entrust, or you can make them yourself, that authenticate a machine or a browser or an application to another one, and also is used to encrypt the data as it flows back and forth. So what you might know a certificate mostly from is the HTTPS that shows up in your browser. S means SSL certificate, means secure. And when you see that and then you see bofa.com, you know you're dealing with bankofamerica.com, one. And number two is you know that any information that you type into your browser that gets sent over the wire is encrypted. So we manage those things, and they have encryption keys, and then we manage encryption keys. And encryption is becoming incredibly important because the bad guys are not only on the inside trying to get in, they're already on the inside. So if you really want to protect your data, which is what security is all about, you got to encrypt it. So even when the bad guys are on the inside, they can't get to it unless they have the key, and we manage the keys. So Venafi was started about 8 years ago by a couple of guys that went to University of Utah. They started a consultancy, and they were sort of focused around security, and one of their customers said, could you help us manage keys? So they built a little bit of software that did that, and then kind of the rest is history. Today we have 50 of the top Fortune 1000 or Global 1000 companies as our customers. We've created an industry. We're the leader in that industry, and that's all taken place over the last 8 years. A couple things. So we have walked the path of innovation with our customers. Very large, very significant customers, some of them in the Fortune 10. And what we have learned along the way with them, and they've learned too, so it's been a mutual exploration journey, is how these assets need to be managed and how you provide security and increase the ability to work with security when you have things like encryption and encryption keys and certificates and the keys associated with that. So we've got 8 years of experience that really nobody else has. So that's kind of one. Number two is this is a heterogeneous environment. So there are all kinds of encryption technologies out there. And what we do uniquely is we interface with all of those. And so we provide a management view and a management capability for over 200 different technologies. And we spent 8 years building the ability to interact with all of those. The reason that's important is that anybody else that tries to get into this business is going to have to replicate that, and that's a lot of intellectual property, one. And number two is they're going to have to overcome the resistance of anybody else in the market that they might compete with if they are an encryption or if they're a technology provider today. So you can imagine somebody like VeriSign might want to take what they've done and then expand into our space. Well, VeriSign is going to have to interface with Entrust and Komodo and these other guys. They're not going to want to. We're Switzerland. So we interface with everybody. Everybody's happy to interface with us because we're not going to compete with them, and that's a big competitive advantage.